Chibis, and welcome back to another video. So today I wanted to do a little bit of like digital painting plus drawing some chibis. So I'm gonna combine the two and just do something with my OCs probably. So kind of similar to this, I don't really do as much like digital painting or like the similar coloring method that I do on Procreate for like a lot of my chibi artwork. Usually when I do chibis, I do like full line work, cleaner colors, and then like making things look softer in the end. This one's more like painted. I wanted to do like charms like this because I think it would be very cute, but I wanted to do like Genshin or like Star Rail characters, but I just did like a test of Kaisen. But you can kind of see like this is what I mean, like being able to paint in the similar way that I do for like my usual artwork. Because luckily like chibis like this tend to be more on the simple side, so I can get away with having less detail almost, or like at least making things a little bit more bold, but still fun to add like a little bit of color here and there and just let things be a little bit more softer in my coloring choices, I guess. So let's do something similar. I think what I'm going to do is, I guess I'll start with like, I'll make this like a horizontal canvas and we'll see how many we can do today. I think I'm going to start off maybe with Kaisen again, just to do a warm-up. I guess I'll show you guys also like how I like to do the planning for my chibis. So usually circle for the head and kind of like almost either a jelly bean or like a long elongated gumdrop shape, kind of like this. Because then when I split it in half, I basically put the hips like this somehow, and then the arms can just go on top. Okay, close enough. I tried readjusting my camera a little bit. I'm also sweating for some reason. It's so hot today. Let's draw Kaisen. Do I have an idea? Kind of. So I think I'm gonna keep the eyes simple as well. So kind of like my derp style, where it's just the center of the eye, or pupil is kind of just like the white circle in the middle, or oval. Because these ones are easier to do, because I just have to do like a few swoops on each side. I have like a very simple looking eye. So typically I like adding in the shoulders and where the hips will be. So I kind of want his legs kind of kicking out. This pose I do a lot for chibis, especially if they're like floating. Giant 4-leaf clover. I could have done Masiki and it would have been more on brand to have like this little clover. I kind of wanted to draw Kaisen just because playing around with the darker colors is kind of fun. And maybe we'll give them like summer outfits, whoever I draw today. So let's start off with Kaisen because I usually don't draw him with like short sleeves. Dude's wearing all black. He's gonna need it in the summer heat. Insight into the little chibis. I usually do them for all of my little reference sheets too. So here's Koji's. Whoops. Almost deleted that. Here's Sato. So they kind of have like the very blank looking eyes, which I always think is kind of fun. And I've been juggling or like switching between doing actual like tiny little chibi hands where like all the fingers are present, versus like the little me or Animal Crossing kind of like ball hands. I was talking about this on a stream about wanting to make another OC in the future because there's always like a specific aesthetic that I really like in a character. And I realized that it's kind of like spread across all of my OCs, but not one particular OC embodies like it entirely. Because I want like a fluffy haired, probably dark haired OC with glasses that has more of like comfy vibe. So if you merge, I think Masaki with Kaisen with Akemi, you probably get the character. Though like no one has the kind of the hairstyle that I'm envisioning. And I'll show you guys how I add the colors to the eyes whenever I do these really like solid filled in eyes. Also, whenever I do like normal hands like this for my chibis, their arms get extremely long. I don't really mind as long as like their hands are not like fully down, I guess. Otherwise their arms probably come down to, yeah, here, like past the knee, which doesn't make sense. Let me see the outfit that I gave him, because I was sketching it out briefly in my sketchbook, which I don't know when you guys will see this video, because I want to do a little bit of like inking and stuff. I just gave him normal shorts. I don't remember if they had like little ties, because they're kind of, I don't know if I want them to be higher. But I think it suits Kaisen a lot just because he already has like the giant sleeves already. Something typically a little bit more on the flowy side. I also darken things up a lot like this when I do chibis just because it helps simplify the forms a little bit more. And because I don't do like full detailed rendering, I guess, I mostly do like thicker lines for chibis and just like in between of like painterly and cell shading almost. So I don't mind if there's like lines in the way because it'll be really easy to clean up. I don't know if he would wear socks like this. Because I don't know if I typically draw him wearing any type of sneaker. Whenever I have to simplify him, I do kind of merge these little pieces of hair so that it's only like one swoop this way, one swoop this way. Because sometimes like, it does get a little bit too cluttered around his face. I don't know if it's because he has more of like a darker colored aesthetic. He's definitely one of my favorites to draw. And doodle. And I don't know if it's because like I like adding in the values and all that. I'm gonna change the sketch color to be warmer. I don't mind if it's on the darker-ish side, so I might change it later. Because like I said, I kind of like the bolder line color, or like thicker lines with bolder color for these little guys. Quickly kind of fill this in. So lasso tool, and I'll have the color fill option also on so that we can make this super fast. And filled. Then I will erase the inside. We'll alpha lock him, and then we can actually start to add some color. Actually get the color in his legs for once. Add a little bit of purple here and there. Some of the shadows, and just gives a little bit of a different vibrant color into his skin. Add in our shadow. Okay, so for the eyes, I'm gonna first change it to a kind of like a blue underneath our multiply color. And then after that, I will just add in our white back into the middle. And then later on, we're going to use our multiply layer to our advantage and just change the bottom half of the eyes so that we have a different color. And then his hair, which is always fun to pick a starting point. So right now I'm using like a darker blue. Sometimes I go for purple. So I feel like I have something in my eye. Added a bit of a lighter color. Even though like for chibi stuff, unless there's like an actual environment actually for any of my artwork, the lighting gets a little willy-nilly. So we go even darker on this side. Have that bleed in, and then I will also bleed in probably like a turquoisey, tealy green color for a clover, and I might add this into the hair as well. Like kind of like a tealy green color and then darkening with like a little bit more of a purpley blue. But we're gonna take this color, gonna add it a little bit into here, a little bit into here. I might fiddle around with the hair a little bit more. I think I'm a little bit indecisive on how I want to do his highlights. Or just more like purpley, because typically I make him wear like that burgundy, maroon, purpley brown, reddish color, which I don't know how to describe it. Still wearing our black. I feel like it'd still be black for his shorts too. Simple outfit. Now I don't want it to look too separate, I guess, for the colors I chose. So I'm gonna add a little bit of that blue from his hair back into the colors into here. My grumpy son. Still one of my favorites to draw. He's just fun. Something on his wrist, so let's add it in. I don't know if it would be like a sweatband or something. I'm gonna mess around because I might change colors as we start to actually render everything. So, speaking of rendering, let's go ahead and actually alpha lock our sketch here. I'm gonna erase some things, but I don't think I'm gonna be treating these very like super clean and neat. So as long as we have enough erased, it'll be okay to just start off with our rendering soon. Okay, so for his eyes, I already have blue laid down as our base. So if we just choose like a darker color than what my sketch initially was, we can make the top half darker. And I kind of want the lower half of the eyes to be much brighter so that his eye color is kind of correct. Kind of vibrant blue for our lines here. Then I'll use pale green for our center. So this is kind of like before rendering. So I'm gonna go ahead and merge down my lines and we can get started. So switching to the sharp render, I won't go too small unless I'm actually doing cleaning up of our chibi, but let's just make some of our lines a little bit bolder, darker, because I don't really mind making things just look a little bit sharper rather than having things have like subtle gradients or like a lot of subtle coloring and or like textures or anything like that. So I'm gonna make things kind of just more bold. Oops, I also forgot to turn off alpha lock so that we can actually change the shape of things if we need to. Also, thank you to everyone who drew Kaisen during Art Fight though, or is currently the Oryx is the event still going. But I appreciate it because I'm glad a lot of you guys actually do like Kaisen. He's one of my favorites to draw. So I think the first Kaisen chibi that I showed at the very beginning of the video was more playing it a little safe with the colors and keeping things like delicate in a sense. But I don't mind if these ones get a little bit more messy. I feel like his V-neck is a little too deep. Might add a little bit of this blue. It's kind of like changing a little highlight here. That blue again, or we'll grab it from his eye. Some color change here. Kind of little overshirt, I guess. Could be like a button up, but I feel like he wouldn't wear like a button up. It's more kind of like a... I always forget the term. If If I remember when I'm editing, please put it in. I will always forget. I don't know if it just looks like a scribble. We'll just give him the typical normal blush. I want to get rid of this little line. We're mostly done with this kind of like lower half of below his head, I guess. And then we'll move on back to the hair. And the clover, which is also something else I forgot entirely about that I have to still clean up. More dark lines here and there. I think the clover is more or less finished. So let's figure out what I want to do with Kaisen's hair. But as soon as you start blocking in certain things with the colors, it kind of just appears more clear anyways. And me getting rid of a lot of the stray lines already helps make it look a little bit cleaner than it actually is, probably, if you zoom in a little bit closer. Not only is it easier for me to see, or not to see, easier for me to cover up because the brown line I can see a little bit too easily. It just looks a little bit more sloppy. Our finished little Kaisen. You can still see a lot of the little scraggly little leftover pieces here and there. From far away you don't really see it too much. So here's Kaisen. Just so that we can make sense of his clothing. So I don't know exactly who else I want to draw, but we can do an outline, I guess. So Gaussian blur. Automatic. Invert. I'm gonna fill this with white. Kind of give him a sticker effect at this point. Took like a tiny break. My brain's like, I kept looking on Pinterest and I keep getting suggestions of like nail art. Do I really care about aesthetic nails? I don't know. Maybe I should cut my nails again and then like reshape them, prep them, and do my nails again because it just looks so cute. But like for me, I know I'll start like picking at them to peel them off because I pick and like peel and like scratch things too often that have cute nails. But let's draw Masiki. I still want to do something like summery-ish. So, I mean, we could do like a sitting pose. He could also be like sitting on a clover type of thing. So I want to make him look happier with his eyes open. We'll see how this goes. I might even copy and paste this eye. Because usually when I clean them up anyways, they're gonna look a little bit different. Because sometimes I draw my Chibis eyes like smack dab right in the middle. And then sometimes I draw it like in the lower third. And I always think the lower third looks cuter. It just gives them like a bit of a smaller face. I'll give him like a cute drink. I've been wanting to design or like give my OCs the drinks again since I've done that sketchbook video. I think it'll be cute to do some more. I think I'm gonna give him strawberry lemonade because I think a pink-ish kind of drink will look very cute just in general of his color scheme typically. I should have also like fruit in his body now that I think about it. He's a little tall. Someone who should be like kind of squatting. I know I was gonna draw his like spring summer outfit, but the fun thing about that one is like his collar. Because I remember 17's Vernon, so if you're facing forward, this, and then you have your shoulders or whatever, the collar's kind of like tilted to one side. So it kind of looks like this. I always thought it was so cute. It has that asymmetrical kind of look to it, because I think it just kind of fun, and it kind of keeps with like his color scheme and keeps it very simple. I also gave him like larger sleeves. Still give him his little bracelet. Feels like a gigantic drink. I was thinking, do I give him his apron? I don't think so. So this be wearing shorts. Slightly higher socks for Masiki, and I feel like he would still wear like maybe white tennis shoes or something. My dainty little lad. I love drawing him, he's so cute. Because technically, yeah, Masaki is the easiest for me to like freehand and draw. Little ahoge. There. And then we'll just clean this up a little bit. I did start with a little bit of a thicker brush, I think, compared to Kaisen. I think these are so cute. Maybe I'll turn in this one to a sticker or something. I like it too much already, even though I haven't colored them in. Which, coloring could make me change my mind, because I could hate it at that point. Sometimes I love my sketch and I hate the aftermath. Easiest way is to draw a circle. Make it look like he's sitting on center-ish, and then we'll split it relatively in half. That way I can kind of figure out the shape of our clover. Get rid of our excess lines. Just so I don't get too confused on what's what exactly. Okay, so I'm gonna merge my two sketches. He's like relatively similar size to Kaisen. Okay, so I'm gonna duplicate this, keep these as little backups. Change this to multiply. Get some warmth. Masaki is a bit paler than Kaisen. To Kaisen. Even though I think the eyes closed would have been cute, I'm glad I went with this route because him looking down at his drink I think is just adorable. I'll lock our flats and then we can go ahead and add some color to white for our sclera. I might adjust Kaisen's eyes. Maybe the whites are a little bit too large. He looks a little funny. So, after that, we'll color in the whites. So he does have green eyes. I almost gave him brown eyes. How weird that would have been. Green eyes. Gonna make the lower portion also a little bit more lighter. Add in our white first, and then we'll add in the color of the lemonade. I'll throw in the lemon and a strawberry somewhere into here. Okay, I might make it a little bit more cooler. Brown. Sometimes I make his hair color too reddish brown. That being said, he's always my favorite to draw. Okay, next up we want to add highlights. Sometimes I do orange as well for his highlights. Also blend that in a little bit to make it a little bit more softer, and adding a little bit of our turquoise color here and there. So he still has the same kind of color of his shirt and the sweater. The color is white though, so we'll throw that in. Brown actually looks really cute though. Kind of for the face, just to lighten it up, as well as a little bit of the hair. Okay, and then eyes. Kind of the same thing. I'm gonna choose a green because that's the closest to his actual eye color. Right here. If you really want to darken up just the top half, we can do that. This little tiny little mouth. Okay, so eyes. Gonna keep it to this top half being this darker green. Also might round out his eyes a little bit more. Give him his eyelids. Sometimes I color this more like of a brown, so I might do that. Have it transition into our green, because this is kind of his eyelids. Chibis are just fun to draw. I don't know if it's because they have just funny proportions. They're just fun to draw. I think I would give Masiki like a strawberry lemonade for his drink. I don't know why I associate him with pink so much, or if it's just like my bias showing between pink and teal, turquoise, seafoam green, or whatever. I just think it looks cute. So even like when I draw him with flowers, like tulips I give him pink ones, peonies I tend to give him pink flowers. A lot of the bouquets that I give him tend to be pink. If they're more like orangey, it's most likely I'm trying to fit like a fall aesthetic for him. I feel like I want to post these, but I like to post like a lot of my OC stuff with more doodles if I can. Okay. So we're just still darkening up some lines. I've been hopping around all over the place. I know I said I was going to work on the lower half. I might even darken this up even more. These ones are always fun to do. As always. It does make me feel like I want to paint more. And I mean paint, I mean like do more watercoloring. I don't know why. Maybe because like for a while I did a lot of like my chibi work, especially like simplified ones that were done for like 17 at the time. A lot of them were done in watercolor. I'm gonna have to not tell myself, I'm gonna have to do some like motorbike kind of studies. So I kind of want to do a study because Moriko, she rides a motorbike or a motorcycle. I haven't decided which yet. And it'd be nice to draw her more with it if I wasn't so scared about not knowing how to even like simplify drawing a motorbike. So it'd be nice to do some studies. I think I did like a few couple of years ago. And all those ridiculous ones that I did for 17's call. And like S-Cubes has like one that has like 13 mirrors for pretty much like one for every member. I don't even know if it was 13. I think I just drew 13. It could have been just like 10. Adding the blue, or in this case I think it's a gray. Yeah, to Masiki's hair. Because we can still keep her brown intact, but adding this blue gives it a little bit more pizzazz in the coloring at least, which is always fun. Which I think he turned out pretty cute. So I think that will be it for Masiki's little chibi here. I don't think I'm gonna do too much left. We'll see, because maybe I'm compelled and I will send these to myself right now and make 2 stickers. We'll see. But hopefully you guys enjoyed today's little video. If I have time, I will add little doodles at the very end, and you guys can check those out afterwards. I might just doodle them off screen right now, just not on camera, so I can take a break being at this part of my desk and like move over to be a little bit more comfier than the filming setup. But hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll talk to you guys. Nope, not yet, actually. Let me show you the time lapse first, then we'll end today's video. The Kaisen. I'm trying to remember if the other one that I did was done in a painterly style or if it was like just a doodle. Because I have this one of Kaisen like eating a clover. Because of this illustration. Oh, I guess it's a doodle. Somebody said like, oh, Kaisen might be eating the clover. So I have. And then him eating it. So maybe I'll do some doodles like this of just like more cute summary stuff of Kaisen and Masaki. Now I can end today's video, but yeah. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!